Well, I saw another superhero film. I'm getting back into watching films at the theater after a long hiatus, and it seems to me that this a new Fantastic Four film, like the Superman film that came out a couple weeks ago, maybe represents a new sort of filmmaking, a new style of filmmaking, and I think we ought to talk about it. But first, I didn't want to forget this. This is how do I need to get it? This is my Fantastic car. This came with the popcorn. I would have hated this when I was a kid because my parents would have never paid a lot of extra money with the popcorn to get something like this, but it is a cool style. Um, this new Fantastic Four film does seem like Superman to be a conscious attempt to move past the previous big screen adaptations of the characters. Like Superman, Fantastic Four has a heavy history of partially successful and failed adaptations. And to do that, it glances over the origin story. And interestingly enough, like the Superman film, it has the same rapid fire clipped scenes that are used in James Gunn's Superman. And I think that maybe together with Superman, the Fantastic Four movie maybe represents a new style of film editing. Maybe it's thought necessary to capture the attention of the social media obsessed. And uh, I think I think that both of these films, Superman and Fantastic Four, will be seen as successful in the industry, part of a reset after many very lackluster superhero films. And this new style, I guarantee, I'm going to say it right now, it's going to become overused in the same way that the Jason Bourne shaky cams of the 2010s suddenly infected and infiltrated all other types of films, like the James Bond film, every action film, and people were very quickly sick of it. But for now, this this style that the Fantastic Four uses, that Superman uses, I loved it. It was really good. And in fact, I would say the Fantastic Four film is better than Superman because it just focuses on four characters, really, instead of all the other subplots that Superman had in. It focuses directly on the Fantastic Four, their story, and their interactions. Not super deep, but it's something. Even the female Silver Surfer is excellent. People's hackles raise when you see the race and sex swap characters, but in this case, it works very well. It gives Johnny Storm someone to interact with instead of being the generic ladies' man he's always been. He goes off, figures out some clues to the problem they're trying to solve. It's really good stuff. Ben Grimm, they don't, the Thing, the rock guy, they don't do too much with him, but it's almost as if they say, well, you've seen his story beats before. He's depressed because he's the Thing now, and the girls don't like him, but he finds a girl who likes him. They don't really show that much. It's almost, they just suggest it and they say, you've seen it before, fill in the blanks, and you'll be fine. Uh, it almost it does seem like, and I think, in these big companies, they have committees of people who are looking at every aspect of the story, both in the Superman film and in this Fantastic Four film, and thinking about how it's been portrayed on the big screen before and how to change it up, how to give it its own identity outside of what is expected of previous Superman or Fantastic Four films. So again, it's a corporate product. We may soon get tired of it, but for now, the changes they've made make for a compelling story that, whether you're a comic book fan, you should appreciate it. There's lots of little lore things in it. And if you don't know anything about it, it's still dazzling and fun. There's a worthy villain in Galactus. There's a gorgeous production design. Again, it's essentially an animated film with people walking around in CGI environments, but it does work. And I did want to, I try not to watch other people's reviews of films. I want to get my own viewpoint, but I couldn't resist some sites that I like. And here's a spoiler alert. So turn it off if you don't want to know this, but it doesn't really matter. There's a point, the controversial point that's talked about in online, is when the Fantastic Four get back from interacting with Galactus for the first time, and the crowd asks, "How did you defeat him?" And they said, "We didn't defeat him." And they said, "Why not?" And they said, "Well, his price for not eating the Earth is to give us our son, and we won't do that." Now, some people online say that's stupid. They should have shut up about that. But I just think it's a wonderful change away from the more cynical portrayals of superheroes in the past, in that the Fantastic Four are not doing what is convenient. They're being virtuous and open and telling the truth to the whole world, leveling with them about what's going on. And I think that's part of all of these changes that have been made from top to bottom to move things away from expectation in these superhero films that have gotten stale over the past few years. And again, I'm an old film school guy, watch the classic films. So when I see a film like this, it is a sort of thrill ride, a modern thrill ride that pulls you along through a thrilling visual presentation and a relentless pace at all times. It is something that, Martin Scorsese would certainly probably contend is not a real film, and in a way he's right. Just the week before, I was watching Alphaville and Godard's Alphaville and Alfred Hitchcock's Foreign Correspondent. And when I look at a film like that and then I watch a Fantastic Four or Superman and try to review them, there's really hardly any comparison. They're hardly the same art form anymore. They're hardly the same media type anymore, in that they're fully animated, and kind of the modern films are paced with the assumption that the audience is impatient and maybe picky about any scenes that are long. However, having said that, still this new modern type of filmmaking, the Fantastic Four and Superman before it, they're entertaining and satisfying. And I think this style is good, can create a successful adaptation of challenging source material, like a whole comic book universe that has gone on for decades. And certainly, I think that's kind of proven in the failed adaptations of these subject matters before, particularly the Fantastic Four, where you're taking these comic book characters and their lore and cramming them into a conventional Hollywood film setup. Always remember the Galactus in the previous film was just portrayed as a big dark cloud in one of the films. I don't know if it was a Green Lantern film. It's as if that they have to be dumbed down or molded to be acceptable for classic type of Hollywood film. So this is a new kind of filmmaking, a new pace. It may jolt people who are used to classic films, but I do feel it's definitely a recommend. It's enjoyable, it's satisfying, and it's unexpected that it is this satisfying in this new, different style of filmmaking, and that's about all I have to say. So go out, see Fantastic Four and Superman. Probably worthwhile seeing in the theater. I think it'd be a diminished experience on the small screen. And I don't like to watch films in 3D or IMAX. It's distracting. Watch a regular, good old-fashioned filming on the viewing on the big screen of these films, and I think you'll have a good time. So that's my review of Fantastic Four.